Right then, here we are for some more Aston Martin Road to Glory. This one is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, round number 8 of the season. As you can see in the background, we have a marketing department event, which we'll get into in just a moment. As always, check out the previous race, guys. Link in the top right for Monaco. I do recommend you go watch it. Also, leave a like and subscribe if you're going to enjoy today's episode. And let's get into it as we have a few updates and a few things to get through in this episode. So, as you can see, marketing department, which essentially is going to give us the option of, do we want to have a new manufacturer of soft drinks, as essentially one of our advertisers? And I'm going to actually disagree, because it gives us 400 extra R&D points, which goes a long way in this initial phase of the career mode. You can see we've actually received an upgrade for the aerodynamics, which unlocks other upgrades, in this case the wing mirrors. So we're going to use that to keep pushing forward and progress as we look to try and really push into the midfield and make some progress as we get ready for the weekend. We have still around 1,500 points left to spend, but I don't actually have any upgrades left to make, as everything is essentially blocked off. We need to basically wait for more upgrades to arrive. So yeah, we're going to jump into the weekend's action. We're going to go for the balanced tyre allocation, no rain forecast, but we have 4 upgrades on the car, and both aero upgrades are major. So we are taking a huge step forward in today's episode, guys, in terms of performance. And just to kind of confirm that, on the performance graph, you can see us along with Williams are the biggest movers in this episode as we take a huge step into the midfield. Besides Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, the gap is really close, so we have really got ourselves in that mix, and that is a really encouraging step forward in terms of performance. And we've got more upgrades arriving, so it's a constant thing, we're never stopping.
Gearbox is running a fault, shift speeds will be reduced for now.
Now, as you saw, we got a radio, and I'm now smoking out the back. Essentially, I'm trying to downshift and upshift, but nothing's happening. There's like a delayed effect. Gearbox essentially has gone. We're in the last 10%, and it's packed in. It's had enough. We've been using this engine and gearbox since race 1, and we've got to the point now where we can no longer use it, which was the plan. I was trying to get through the last race in Monaco, which was my intention, and we successfully achieved that. So after practice 1, we're going to go ahead and change the components, and we're going to replace those that have 3 allocations available, including the gearbox. So we essentially speed ran the rest of practice and got all of our points. Our total now is over 3,000, so hopefully we'll spend some of that in the start of the next episode. We also got a bunch of discounts, and to be fair, I might look at some durability upgrades in terms of making the engines work until the end of the season. But nonetheless, practice done, updates done, engine reliability done, and all that kind of boring stuff. We're now going to move to qualifying, and we're going to put these upgrades to the test, and we're going to find out exactly if we've taken a step forward in terms of pace this weekend. So currently in qualifying, and I'm on the outlap right now. We've got a car ahead of us, which is a Haas, and that is Mick Schumacher. And to my surprise, the AI made a mistake. Mick stacked it in the wall right here, as you'll see, and we just have to kind of avoid it. But Mick out of qualifying. I don't know if he set a lap or not, but that could potentially already give us a free position to gain in this qualifying session, as of course he hasn't set a valid lap time, if that's even the case. Anyway, at the end of my first push lap, I will admit this lap was horrible. I did a league race last night in Jeddah, and I'm used to driving equal cars, and coming back to this car, it was a massive handful to drive, especially around a circuit where the rear traction is so critical, and this car is actually awful in terms of rear traction. So I really had a poor time, and I had a really scruffy lap on this first attempt, and it's going to showcase once we cross the line. It was a 1 minute 40.8, and we go P11 and last on the track. Nearly 6/10 off Nicholas Latifi, which is a massive red flag. Anyway, speaking of which, red flags, Carlos Sainz also stacks. If you look at the minimap in the bottom left, Lance Stroll, our teammate, and also George Russell, all 3 of them have essentially had a massive pile-up at the exact same location as Mick Schumacher. So yeah, another 3 cars out. However, they have all set a lap time, so it's not going to be the same situation as Mick, where we may gain an advantage, because we're P19 right now, we're not P20. I'm assuming Mick is P20. So yeah, this is it, our last attempt to qualify to try and get through. Now, I know what I've got to improve. Essentially, I've got to just improve the traction. We had a horrible turn 1, as I just did not have the confidence on the brakes, and then also the traction was horrific. I lost half a tenth, and it just wasn't great because there was easily like a tenth to gain. Instead, we actually lost half a tenth. Turn 2 though, different story. Same goes for turn 3, we're starting to cook a little bit, and I've cleaned up the traction in those areas, and we're just keeping it nice and smooth, nice and safe. And now we're starting to find the lap time. 2 tenths up in sector 1, however, still 3.5 tenths down on Nicholas Latifi as the checkered flag drops. Into sector 2 now though, into this 90-degree right, taking lots of inside curb. I broke myself a little bit, and I broke it a bit too deep, so I lost a bit of time on the exit. Through the castle, slight correction as I thought I went in a bit too early, but through here we found a load of time, just basically letting the car flow through and just get that traction down beautifully on the exit. Is this going to be enough? We're about to find out. One more sector remains as we look to navigate the section where so many cars have crashed. I broke way too early for this one, I will admit, but we got a decent exit though, and actually found more time through there in that sequence by essentially slowing fast out. As you can see, we're 6 tenths down though on Zhou Guanyu in P16, so this lap doesn't look to be anywhere near troubling him at least. Maybe we can try and get our teammate at least, who of course crashed, maybe even Latifi. 1 minute 40.8 is our previous lap, we're 6 tenths under, so we're looking at a 40.2 across the line, a 40.1 I believe, and yeah, disappointing. Not really what I wanted from qualifying, and the upgrades haven't exactly shown pace. Now, one thing I'll say, because of the crashes, I guess on paper, officially anyway, we have 7 knockouts in Q1, which is a weird thing to say, but Russell Sainz, Zhou Latifi, Stroll, myself, and Schumacher out of qualifying, and 13 cars will contest Q2, so yeah, definitely not what I had in mind. And the worst thing about it, Albon's P12. So Williams looked competitive with the upgrades and Albon seems fast. I just hope he doesn't score points. Either way, we're starting from the back of the grid basically. So we're going to send in the race and try to turn this one around.
A warm welcome to all of you at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama, and where a 4th row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as pole position, with Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez finishing 3rd in 2017 and 18 respectively. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Ocon, Gasly, and Kevin Magnussen, Tsunoda, Bottas, Alex Albon, and Russell, Sainz, Zhou, Nicholas Latifi and Lance Stroll, Martinez and Mick Schumacher. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
I'm not going to lie, this could be a tough and very long race for us. I feel like the upgrades have helped, but this isn't the right track to showcase them, and this track isn't friendly for our car. Regardless, I'm going to give it a shot and see what I can do. I'm just really concerned about rear wheel spin. That seems to be a recurring issue here that I can't seem to shake off. I'm going to try and go for the one stop and go long. We'll try and do the best. Medium to hard, possibly medium to soft, but my rear tyre wear is so bad I think we're going to have to go for the hard tyre. I am running 0.5 on the fuel. This isn't a fully accurate race sim because I actually simmed it due to the engine failure, or the gearbox failure more like. So this isn't fully concrete information. In terms of the setup though, I am going to run 1 and 4, which is quite a big offset on tyre pressures. I don't normally do this, but it's an exception as Baku has such high rear tyre wear. So yeah, we're going to get into it and see what happens. Starting from P19, we've got pretty much nothing to lose, so let's just send it and hope for the best. Right, lovely stuff. Let's get into it. Let's get to work. Here we go. Not a good reaction. So much wheel spin. Oh my god, I can't even put the throttle down. It almost feels like I've got a bug. It's so bad. So bad. Jeez. Anyway, we're down to last place. Really not what I had in mind. I'll have a stab up the inside of Schumacher here as Latifi cuts right across. And again, just no back end.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Literally, I don't know. It can't be my setup. My setup is something I've used in league races before. It's good quality. This car is just so poor in terms of rear grip. We'll try and slide up the inside of Schumacher, but we're probably going to lose out in the traction battle. Luckily, we just squeeze him into the wall enough that we can get back in front. Thought about having a look there on Latifi, but didn't quite have the grip to sell around the outside. Let's see what happens in the castle section here as everyone tries to filter through. This could get a bit chaotic. The fact that Sainz is down the order here and Russell as well, that's going to create a bit of chaos as they're going to want to, you know, fight back and try and make progress. So there could be some battles throughout the stint. Pretty poor exit there. Going to have to use a bit of battery to stay ahead of Schumacher. I've got pretty low wings. I think I'm on 8.3, so we should be competitive in the straight line speed department. It's just the rear traction. We'll see. Can a good top speed make up for a horrible exit and acceleration? That's the big question of the day, the trade-off. That wasn't too bad, to be fair. Now we've got the tyres warmed up. The rear end seems to be cooperating a bit better, so let's see. First impressions, I think we're actually quite competitive in terms of race pace. I think we could actually do some damage here. We've kept up easily. Straight line speed is very good. And this is during the AI's phase of the race where they used all their battery in the first 2 laps. Starting from this lap now, they'll start to use less of it, so they'll be more vulnerable and more exposed. And of course DRS will be enabled. The entire grid is essentially in the DRS train right now, so this might open up now.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So Sainz through on Zhou. Let the fun begin. Now we're going to see what happens with a little bit of DRS sprinkled on to the little race scenario. Stroll, Zhou, side by side. That means opportunity. You can definitely tell the Williams has improved. Zhou holds on though, stays ahead of Stroll, but Zhou won't have DRS at the end of the lap, so that could be interesting. First little moment there, definitely didn't need that, but decent enough exit that we're close enough to Latifi. Let's use a little bit of energy to close the gap here, but I think I've got the straight line speed necessary to have a look here. Latifi goes defensive, Stroll goes to move on Zhou. Around the outside, and that is a beautiful overtake. Let's see who doesn't get DRS here. Whoever it is going to be in a bit of trouble. It's Zhou. We're going to try and get him here. We might get Stroll as well, actually. Oh, we bottom out on the curb. Almost put it in the wall. Just managed to save that. That was very fortunate. Oh, that was scary. Almost straight line there, straight into the barrier. Luckily, though, we kept it out. So, double overtake. Latifi and Zhou. And the car, the upgrades, actually feel a lot better in the race. We're competitive. I like this. Let's stick with Lance, so let's see what kind of pace he's got in clean air. We're closing quite quickly on our teammate here. Stroll, of course, without DRS. Look at the speed difference. Wasn't expecting that. Didn't use any battery, but we're through. Bit of rear locking just to go with it, but overtake done. And we're now up into P16. We'll give Stroll a little bit of DRS just to stay ahead of Zhou. We're now going to use the majority of the battery to try and pull away, and ideally try to get within DRS range of the cars in front, as they are battling right now, stuck behind Albon. And there we go, we've caught up comfortably. Very encouraging. Sainz could be a car that we may be able to follow this race, and also just sit in the DRS. That would be the ideal scenario here. Yeah, we've done what we had to do, we've done the hard work, we've set a personal best, and we're now back with the pack. Albon battling with Bottas into turn 1, Sainz will get involved. Again, this will present an opportunity for us to have a little look. Albon, Bottas slow through 2. Our traction isn't even that bad, to be honest. I don't really want to pass Sainz because he's just going to get back past me because he's faster anyway. Sainz up the inside of Albon, Bottas locks up. It's all pretty tight, just trying to avoid losing an end plate as we have a huge moment. And Stroll tried to re-challenge there, but I just moved across at the crucial time. Bit of a dirty move, but had to be done. And Stroll is using battery to try and pass me here. So we're going to have to defend the inside. There we go. Well, let's see if I can get Albon. Using a pretty big chunk of battery. We'll use a bit more just to clear him, and then we'll try to recharge behind Sainz. There we go. Overspeed, overspeed. It's easy. It's really easy. Right, so that's Albon taken care of. I'm not going to get DRS on this second straight though, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, Sainz is battling with Bottas here, so just got to stay ahead of Albon, which we will be able to with the remaining battery we have. There we go, P15. Sainz on Bottas into turn 1. Ideally, we want Carlos to pull us here. I'm now in extreme battery recharge mode as we've used everything we had. This battle may continue as Bottas now has DRS on Sainz. Got to be careful here, we may get a chance to overtake. I want to try and be the car behind Sainz if possible. Whoa, contact. Didn't really want that, but you know what? I think Sainz may have damage.
Right,
And
drop your speed, our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
I wonder if that's maybe some sort of debris on the track. Either way, that was crucial. So great timing.
There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Okay, copy that.
We're now back in the race with the option to go to the end. Hopefully, we can still remain P13 by the time we pit. I'm a little bit concerned we may get held. Well, we're going to floor into the pit entry then. Everybody's in. So yeah, we're just going to give everything. And there we go, that's a good entry.
Lance is in for his stop.
Hopefully we don't get held. Come on boys, quick stop here. And we get held a little bit, but it's not awful. We're still where we were, which is great.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
We've actually gained a place, we're P12 now. Not sure who we overtook in the pits, but we're up 1. So, what a recovery. P19 to P12 on pretty decent pace. I'm way over on fuel, which is not ideal. Could have probably started off negative fuel, but anyway, that aside, I can't complain. Great race so far. And it would be very typical that the one race where I genuinely thought we had no chance based off qualifying, we actually score points. We're only 2 places away, yet to see a DNF. If there was to be a DNF ahead, that would put us on the brink of a point. But of course we do have Carlos Sainz behind. Here we go then, this should be fun. Restart time, when will the AI bolt? No idea, but we're going to get a bit of tyre warm up on the go. Just trying to maintain those temps around the 80 mark. We can afford to burn up the fronts, that's not really a concern. But there we go. Usually when that message arrives, it's time to get racing. Sainz is nowhere near us. So it's fair game. Let's get back to it.
Okay, clear.
Action into 1. Someone's going slow. Gonna park my car right on the racing line to avoid Sainz having a look, although he's going to squeeze by it. Realistically, I don't really want to fight a Ferrari, so I think I might just let Sainz go. It's just not my battle to pick as he runs into the back of Ricciardo. But after this, we can just sit behind him now and let the race kind of, again, let the race play out. And if any opportunities arise for us to pick any scraps, we'll pick them up. Got some action up ahead. Ricciardo and Russell going at it. The McLaren seems very, very slippery on the straight. Ricciardo challenging Russell from pretty far back. Sainz is now to get involved. We're just a bit too far back to really have a say in this, but I'll say that. Sainz is going to challenge here. Let's see, into turn 4, if anything happens. May get an opportunity here to clear one of the McLarens. Or not quite close enough. We're just about to drop Gasly out of DRS range. The pack has broken off further back, behind Schumacher. So the pace is pretty strong right now by the cars in front. I'm able to keep up pretty easily though, without having to use a ton of battery, but we may just drop Gasly out of DRS range here, which could be significant in terms of taking some pressure off from behind. Let's see, can we drop him? Yes we can. There we go, we've got the gap. So hopefully Gasly Schumacher will battle, fall back and lose more time.
Here's some information on Tsunoda for you. They seem to have an issue.
Okay, that's big. Tsunoda is also on the verge of breaking the train. He can't keep up with Leclerc in like P6 or something, so this is going to really open things up now, and this could begin the kind of final battle. So here we go, Tsunoda dropping backwards. That's a car we could pass. I think I can also get Ricciardo, which would leave us in P11. Very close to a point. 2 wide to turn 1, Tsunoda battling with an Alpine and Russell. Now Sainz getting involved. 3 wide. This is going to end in tears. Looks like everyone's got DRS here, so this could be interesting. Let's stick with it. 3 wide again. Pick the opportunity to pass. Ricciardo slow. Oh my god. Whoa. You know what? That's my L to take, but I'm going to firm it and I'm going to run with it.
Watch the aggression, please. We don't want to lose places because of a penalty.
That was a huge front double lock out of nowhere. I put Snow in the wall. Luckily, he already had car issues, so one more I ain't going to worry. Bit of a dirty move though. That was a huge front double lock up, my god. Out of nowhere. I've not had any issues with front locking at all this weekend. Out of nowhere, the one time I tried to brake late and the front's just completely locked. I had to go past though because I want to keep up with Sainz and Russell. For P11 now though, we've also managed to get Ricciardo. So that was a critical double pass. Just got to try and stay in the DRS now, off Sainz if we can. Well, we've all kept up then. Russell being followed by Sainz, being followed by me and Ricciardo.
Yellow flag.
And we've got a retirement. This is it. This could be the one.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Who is it? It's up ahead. This could move us into the points. Lando Norris. And that moves us into P10. I did say
Green flag.
if we just got one retirement ahead of us, that would make a big difference. And we've got it. We're now in a points scoring position for the very first time this season. Still 6 laps to go, but we're getting close. Sainz has been dropped by Russell here, which could be interesting. I'm going to get the chance to pass him now. I don't have a ton of battery, but we've got Ricciardo on our tail, so I kind of have to not commit, but I can't afford to just let off. So I guess we'll have a little look at this and try to go for it. We've got the overspeed, so we may as well try and take it. Sainz back up the inside in a bit of a half and half. Hesitation, re-overtake attempt. We'll let him go. I'll get the DRS on this straight. Oh, my traction there let me down. I'm going to trust my straight line speed here. I'm not going to defend. I'm going to trust that we've got what we need. There we go, just like that. We've managed to hold on. mean, if Sainz does have this up pace and, you know, he's going to stay there for the rest of the race, we may be able to get him at the end on a run for the line, knowing our straight line speed. Sainz is pulling away. Just start to struggle.
MFD for a new strategy option. Confirmed.
Just start to struggle on the rears. I'm going to use a bit of the battery here to see if I can claw my way back in, but I think I'm a bit too far back, which is far from ideal. But using the battery, I might be able to get back into range for the next straight, but I've used up all my reserves now. Oh, that was not a good one. I'm not going to use the battery. I'll save it for the last lap. Ricardo's going to go full power mode now, so let's see. I've got a good straight line speed, so I know I can probably defend this even without any battery use. Now Ricardo opens up the rear letterbox, but I can fight this into turn 1. There he goes. You can see he's struggling to even get alongside. On the inside line, leaving space. And there we go. Ricardo not convincing around the outside. Just got to try and realistically just defend this straight, and then we're home and dry. I can use all my battery on the next straight, on the final straight. Here comes Ricardo. Closing, closing, closing. Not close enough though. We've got this. I can hold on to this now. There's no more mistakes. Ricardo pushing. Using all of his engine mode right now. A little bit slow through there. Did brush the wall as well. Checo wins. Alright, we're going to have to be patient here. I don't have a ton of battery, so I've got to wait. Get through the chicane. Ricardo now struggling to pull alongside. Now we're going to deploy it. Look at that. Look at that. Easy work. Job done. Finally, a point. Finally.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
Look at that. That is a beautiful picture. Aston Martin in the points. Wow, it took 8 races, but we finally achieved it. We should have possibly got it in Monaco last race. The pace was there, but today we've achieved it, finally, and I'm very, very happy. Perez and Verstappen make it a 1-2 for Red Bull. Alonso P3 for Alpine, fair play, great result. Hamilton in P4, Magnussen in P5 in the Haas, great result as well. Ocon making it both Alpines in the top 6, Ferrari having a poor day, P7 and P9 struggling for pace, with Russell and myself wrapping up the point scorers. Missing out Ricardo, Schumacher, Gasly, Albon, Stroll P15 along with Latifi, Bottas, Joe, Tsunoda and then Norris, the only retirement. So standings after 8 rounds. Perez is your new leader. To be fair, the championship is red hot. Verstappen with that podium gets himself in the mix, and that top 5, it's looking pretty competitive. Top 6 even with Hamilton there as well. With that point, we don't actually change position, but at least we're now not part of the 0 point club, which is something. And also, we're still P9 in the constructors, but we now have a point to our name and an actual tangible advantage over Williams. So yeah guys, there we go, finally. If that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. I genuinely, out of all the races, I thought this was the one I had no chance after qualifying, and somehow we got a point, and the car was brilliant in the race. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff, it really helps me out. As always guys, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the videos on the screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and let's go back from here.